Statistically, 73%, I believe is the figure, change management efforts fail. So the question's got to be, why would you even bother? Because we don't worry about what the average do. 73% is the average that fail. And they're sitting down in this quadrant down here. So they're good or average, and they're in chaos. And the reason they fail is because they don't follow this simple 4-step formula they're going to give you right here in a minute that my son used to get me back in the gym this week. What we're worried about is what the outliers who create flow do. So that's what we're going to look at in Unboxed. But before we get into it, I'm going to let the other Beanie tell you about the workshop. There's only 3 spots left. If you want to get one, you can't just run off and go or wait till the last minute, so I'm going to buy a ticket. Hell, let some extra people in. No, I won't. I'll keep it a 5 for a very specific reason. It's all about the communication pathways, how many people are there to make sure that everyone gets exceptional value, everyone's questions are answered, everyone walks away at the end of it knowing exactly what they need to know. 3 spots left. If you want one, you can't just go and buy a ticket somewhere. You have to reach out, speak to me, we'll have a quick chat, see if you might be a good fit to come along. Fussy about who are into these workshops. I only have a very limited amount of time to do this, and I'll make sure that I'm doing it with the right people. Anyway, enough from me. Other old mate Benny will run you through how the workshop's going to run, and then I'm going to come back on and we're going to have a look at what this formula was, how you make sure that you don't end up with the average and you become an outlier instead who makes it stick. If you walk out of a workshop with a mile-long to-do list, the technical term for that workshop is a waste of your time. That's why I specifically reverse engineered Unboxed, so that your time isn't wasted. In fact, there's only 2 reasons why someone like you shows up. You're big enough to admit that you don't know what you don't know.
A wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place.
And you know that you're going to need a who to get the how done. If you lead a team of 10 plus, you live on the Sunshine Coast, and you want your team to create a real breakthrough in Q4 of 2025, then this might be exactly what you've been looking for. At Unbox, we're not going to pile more tasks onto you, and we're going to reset what good looks like. In session 1, we're going to uncover what is your real bottleneck and then map out a 9-day plan that your team can start to execute the next week. You'll name someone within your business who's going to own it, set up tight feedback loops, and make your team's progress visible via a simple live scoreboard. No jargon or any other bull. Just a simple process that your people can run. The date, time and the price are all in my bio, and there is only 5 spots. That's not going to change. When you're ready, DM me, I want in. We'll have a quick chat about locking in a spot, or if it's the workshop trailer video, DM me, I'm keen. Alright, so earlier this year I decided way back in February I was going to get fit again because I want to go back and play senior cricket. Started training with my son and I was doing really well for a period of about 5, nearly 6 months. I was training 3 times a week, and one of the reasons was because of the who. I'll explain that to you in a minute and where that fell off the wagon. I got crook about a month ago, and I've done a couple of training sessions with my son since, but I'm supposed to go and I do Saturday with him, and then I'm supposed to do 1 or 2 sessions by myself at the gym during the week. Last week he said, righto, you've had enough time off, you need to get back into the gym. I didn't get in there. So when I went in the other day, this is what he did to me. All right. So he went, first question he said is, and this is a question that you should always start with, and this is a question that I'm going to ask you when we start off with Unbox, and it goes back to the Simon Sinek and why. Why are we actually doing this? If you don't have a very good reason why you're doing it, then people don't understand why you're doing it and they're not going to buy into it. The way that I explain it, what we want to do is we want to move from this quadrant down here where we're good, which, let's face it, good is average. Good never ever gets above this line down here. Good and average, and it's chaos most of the time, okay? People, you run around putting fires out a lot of the time, good majority of your time. To get up into the top corner where you've got flow, things run, and you're an outlier, you beat the odds. You're in the 17% that actually make it through, 27% that make change stick, not in the 73% that fail. Maths not an exact science. Remember, I told you that yesterday's video. You got to subtract to multiply. That's a very good reason why. So we're going to have a look at that during this session. Also, what we're going to do with the Y is we are going to do something that's called an MTP, massive transformative purpose. And we're going to use my little mate called Mox. Just came out, he came up with that name himself actually. We'll throw him up right now. So Mox is the chat that I'm using with inside ChatGPT to build this workshop. So I'm going to shrink myself up a little bit here because I noticed yesterday when I went back to review yesterday's video, I'd actually covered a lot of it up. So I'll throw that onto me. So that will move around and track me. So you don't just look at the wall, you do actually look at me. So I went to Mox just before and said to him, where was it? We need to come up with a name for you. So the name that he came up with is Mox. It's going to do this again. It did this to me last night when I tried to use ChatGPT on the computer the first time. It didn't have enough grunt to drive it, so we might have to go back to the phone again. It does come good, but it can take a while. So ChatGPT, let's go back and talk to our old mate Mox. Workshop prompt generator. Remind me, Mox, what does Mox stand for? Make once and execute. Love it. So that's what we're going to do. All right, Mox, what I want you to do is run off and do some research on Peter Diamandis, okay? And OpenEXO also talks about this, Salem Ismail. I'm going to send you off on a little bit of an adventure here, and we might even get you to, I might get you to deep research it as well. What I want you to do is create what they call an MTP, massive transformative purpose, because this is an exercise they're going to take people through in their workshop as part of their why they're doing this, why are they coming along to learn how to drive 10x results or use 10x thinking to drive 10x results. I'm not necessarily going to get them straight away, but this is the target that we're aiming for. I want you to create an MTP for me, remembering that you might be able to cross-reference a previous chat that I did with latest Super Ed, where we spoke about my one word, and the movement that I'm creating is outliers. Okay, so based around that, go off, do your research, and then create me an MTP that I'm going to show people while we're on the call right here. All right, I'm going to try and kill ChatGPT on there. No, it's death wheel spinning. Got it, I'll research it. He's off doing that. Okay, we'll come back to the MTP in a minute, and hopefully the death wheel will stop spinning on there, so you'll be able to see it on there as well, be able to show it to you. If not, I'll just read it to you on my phone. And what I'm going to do is flick back to another screen, because there's no point you looking at ChatGPT if, where's my Windows screen gone? If it's not even working anyway. All right, so why? We're going to create a massive transformative purpose, and we're going to spend a little bit of time on creating the why, because it's going to be vitally important to make sure that you don't fail, you don't end up in that 73% that fail when you get the why right. So he said to me, why are you doing this? Dad, why have you just spent 6 months doing this? Because I want to go back and play cricket. Right, why? All right. So what are you going to do this week? What are you going to do to get back in the gym? You didn't get in the gym last week. What are you going to do differently? So for you, my what was, there's a gym that's on the way to work. I'm going to go in the morning, right? So your what is, you're going to use what we spoke about yesterday. 1% of your day is going to be used to master the art of your daily stand-up, which is a morning meeting. You're going to learn how to coach rather than problem solve everyone's problems for them all of the time. Now ChatGPT's going and it's got a mile of stuff in there. So we'll be able to use that again in a minute. We'll be able to flick it up when it comes back. He's still doing that at the moment. It's taken a little while because I asked him to deep research, so it's taking a bit of time to do it. Hang on. Put off the DNA. Hang on. There is an unboxed DNA MTP there, which we'll flick up in a minute and have a look at it. I might as well finish this off now. So another reason that I failed, so he's taken me through this process. Why are you doing it, Dad? What are you going to do differently so that you actually get to the gym this time instead of talking about it? I did actually do it because we put a plan in place. I executed it. Who are you going to do it with, or are you going to report it to? What you said you were going to do. Now, the reason that I fell off the wagon with the gym is because I was working away in Billawheeler. When I was in Billawheeler, I religiously went to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, as well as come home and train with Keegan on Saturday. When I was out of Billow, one of the other lads that was there was training for a triathlon. We made a pact. We met at the gym 2 to 3 times a week in the morning because we knew the other person was going to be there. We showed up. A who is vitally important in this process. And I'm going to make an offer where I say, if you want to work with me, you want me to be the who, you want me to be the person who's what they call a fractional EXO in your business, shows you how to implement all of this stuff. I have coaching programs that do this. This is why I run the workshops. There's no hard sell. You either want it or you don't. You're in, you're out. That's all good. You come to the workshop, you don't want it, no dramas. You need a who button. Who is you either going to report your progress to, or who is going to do it with you to keep you accountable. I'm going to show you a little AI, an app that I use as well. I think it costs about the highly expensive price of about $5 a month US. So it's probably going to cost you about $8 or $9 a month. Set a little reminder in there, and it comes back and it does these annoying little messages, and it ramps up as it goes. So you can set the time apart that it does it, pretty sure, on the paid version. But it'll set you, so you might say, I want to spend 15 minutes in the morning doing my daily stand-up. So it'll go, all right, what time are you going to do it? You punch it all in, and it'll start reminding you, have you done it? 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 And it'll drive you nuts until you actually do it, which is a good thing. The who is vitally important. This one is the next one that he asked me. He said, when are you going to do it? I went around this tree a couple of times because I went, afternoons, mornings, but this is vitally important, right? You need to lock in when you're going to do this. I'm going to make you do it during the workshop. We're going to have a little checklist there. You're going to go through this process. You're going to go, why? Why are you doing this? We're going to create an MTP. We'll use Mox to do one, just like he's done for me, which I will throw up here in a minute. If he's pumped it up, we'll have a look there at a minute, what he's come up with. We're going to create your why MTP. What are you going to do? We know what you're going to do. You're going to master daily stand-ups. If you already mastered daily stand-ups, then we're going to find something else for you. It's going to be hard. 1% of your day, which is about 14.34 minutes, something like that. You're going to work out who is going to do it with you. You might not be the right person to drive this in your business, and if you're a visionary type person, you're probably not. You need what's known as a Ryan. I'll explain to you what a Ryan is and why you need that person. It's someone that turns up and does this stuff who is almost fanatical about it. Obsessed. I'm going to use the word obsessed. Is obsessed about driving culture, about driving improvement, and about growing people. You need that person. That'll turn up and do it. Has the discipline to turn up and do it every day. When are you going to do it? That's the other question that I'm going to ask you. All right, so I'm going to, now that we have this back again, we should be able to pull ChatGPT up so you can look at it. Okay. So that was the prompt that I put in there. Got it. I'll research Peter Diamandis' MTP framework and OpenEXO's interpretation of it, cross-reference it. Give me a moment. He's done it. Mox here. Quick heads up. My deep research tool's temporarily offline. Yeah. So I can't pull fresh material from OpenEXO or Peter Diamandis directly at the moment, but I've studied the MTP frameworks before, can still craft a sharp, massive, transformative purpose based on what it is. Unboxed MTP is to unlock outlier performance in everyday teams by rewiring how they think, plan, and execute. I like that. That's good. Imagine when you go away and you go back and people say to you, why are we doing this? And you'll be go to unlock outlier performance in everyday teams by rewiring how they think, plan, and execute. Well, you're not going to say that, but he's going to come up with something similar for your business. Well, that's it for today. I think I've covered everything that I told you that I was going to cover. End of the workshop. Session 3. They'll have a 90-day plan. People are going to know why you're doing this plan. You're going to have an NTP to take away. Mox is going to create it for you. What are you going to do? You'll know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to spend 1% of your day, which is 14.3 minutes. You're going to cross it off with something called the Seinfeld formula, which I'll show you later on. And you're going to master the art of daily stand-ups, of creating world-class problem solvers. That's what your team's going to become. Who's going to do it with you? You're going to figure that bit out, and you're going to commit to doing that. As I say, you might want my coaching services, you might not. You might just want the AI app, and that's all good. And you're going to nail down when you're going to actually do this. All right. That is, I said to you before, you can actually, I think Mox actually put it in the chat, you can get, ChatGPT has a function now, right? What happens is, I don't know if you can see that or not, there's a little share button up the top there. So if you want to get access to this chat and see how I'm building this workshop, all the prompts, all the bits and pieces, the swearing, it's all in there. This is another point that I thought about today. I don't want this workshop to be overly polished, because people come along to a workshop and look at what happens and they see it just all runs smooth and perfect and there's no bumps, because the person spent weeks or even months ironing it out and making it perfect. That's not what happens in real life. Even when you're in outlier and flow, this shit goes wrong. Stuff doesn't work. You'll have seen that in the last 2 live streams that I've done. I've had issues with ChatGPT, but does it stop me? No. In the book, Relentless, Tim Grover talks about 3 types of people. There's cleaners, closers, and coolers. Coolers get the job done sometimes. Cooler gets the job done most of the time, as long as they don't hit too many hurdles. A cleaner, which is what you need to be up in the outlier box, gets the job done, regardless of what obstacles get put in their way. That's what's going to happen. That's what you're going to learn to do during this workshop. So the workshops, if you're looking for highly polished, flawless execution, even flawless execution doesn't mean it's perfect. It will be pretty flawless, but it's still going to be real. We use technology. Technology might work sometimes. Sometimes, like I did in this video, it might not. That's what happens in real life. And guess what? You keep going. All right. So if you want to get access to it, message me Mox. Access to Mox. And I will flick you. I'll share this chat with you so you can go in and have a look at what I'm doing. There's nothing, no dark ass about what I'm doing. Nothing magical about it. It is all there is. It's 2 words. 3 words. Fucking hard work. That's what it is. Hard work, but if you're in concordance with it, you like it, you love growing people, you love continuous improvement, then you'll love doing this as well. Hard work will be easy for you. Take it, use it, make it a great week. If you want access to those 2 other, the Trello board and the Miro board that I'm doing as well, happy to give you access to those. Just flick me a message, I'll show you the links. Speak soon. 3 spots left. You're coming. Now it's time to jump in. If you walk out of a workshop with a mile-long to-do list, the technical term for that workshop is a waste of your time. That's why I specifically reverse engineered Unboxed, so that your time isn't wasted. In fact, there's only 2 reasons why someone like you shows up. You're big enough to admit that you don't know what you don't know.
A wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place.
And you know that you're going to need a who to get the how done. If you lead a team of 10 plus, you live on the Sunshine Coast, and you want your team to create a real breakthrough in Q4 2025, then this might be exactly what you've been looking for. At Unbox, we're not going to pile more tasks onto you, and we're going to reset what good looks like. In session 1, we're going to uncover what is your real bottleneck and then map out a 9-day plan that your team can start to execute the next week. You'll name someone within your business who's going to own it, set up tight feedback loops, and make your team's progress visible via a simple live scoreboard. No jargon or any other bull. Just a simple process that your people can run. The date, time and the price are all in my bio, and there is only 5 spots. That's not going to change. When you're ready, DM me, I want in. We'll have a quick chat about locking in a spot, or if you see the workshop trailer video, DM me, I'm keen.